longer. Wow.
Whoa, your lungs are crazy.
I got good lungs, baby.
Wow.
It's crazy that the listener has no idea that you've been doing that for 47 minutes as we've been preparing to record.
Finally, we can
Wow.
talk.
Wow. Well, while JP is catching his breath, allow me to welcome
Don't
you
even
to
need it.
this, the 160th episode of the Belligerent Beavs podcast. We're in the week coming off a bye-week edition. Normally don't wait until Wednesdays to record. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, 8 p.m. Pacific time. We are doing this, but we had a lot. Oregon State didn't have a ton going on this week, but we did. And just couldn't get around to that. We normally record at night. Playoffs has completely hijacked my entire life. Benny was doing something mysterious on Monday. Mysterious Mondays at the WeH household. Yeah, so here we are midweek, but we're still getting it done, getting it in, getting episode 160 in. All three of our fucking baseball teams didn't make the playoffs.
60.
So
I got it. But we made a
Jesus
great
Christ.
move.
you did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Do you feel old? Like,
Does it feel
We
old
were
that Buster
all
Posey
watching-
is now like an executive? And we
Yeah,
argued
yeah, I
about
feel
how
old
good
every
he was
day.
when he was a rookie. Yeah, like, sure, I feel old.
Yeah.
Thanks, JP, for bringing that up.
yeah,
Hey,
I projected that he
Did
was
you-
going to be better
You
than
guys
Joe
know
Mauer.
Mitch Canham is the coach for Oregon State baseball now? Don't you feel old?
Yeah,
We had classes with that
that's a similar
guy.
sentiment. That is a similar sentiment. But you have like, there's a difference of like, whoa, that guy. Like, I know that Mitch is obviously like the Pat Casey head baseball coach, but the difference is like, it's not like Buster's like on the staff. Like, I was fine
No.
last year when Pat Burrell ended up on the staff for the
Pat
Giants. I'm
Burrell.
like,
I haven't
okay,
heard that name
nice.
in so long.
Yeah,
Pat the
Pat the
Bat.
Bat.
The
Yeah,
original Pat the Bat.
yeah, the one who tells people to do that.
How about that bit? It's a
Yeah.
it's a perfect.
Yeah, it's good. But like that didn't make me feel that old still because I was thinking like,
Sure.
as a coach, like, yeah, I could maybe in 3 years like be
Pat
a
Burrell's
coach somewhere.
probably older than us too, right? Like he was in the majors when
He's
we were
like
in like
4
high
years
school.
older than
Yeah.
us, I think. Yeah,
Hmm.
he went to Bellarmine, by the
Right.
way, which is like our rival all guys school.
Oh, boo,
I still love him.
Bellarmine. Oh,
He's the only
Nice.
person I like from there.
Bellarmine.
Yeah. No, not nice Bellarmine.
Oh, it's Pat, but boo Bellarmine.
Yeah. Bellarmine.
Okay.
If you ever fly into San Jose International, I guess it is San Jose International. You actually fly like right past their school, like upon approach, like not just like way up and you look way down out of your window. It's like as you're like about to touch down, right after you fly over whatever the MLS soccer stadium.
I don't even know.
What
the
you
name
know
of
about
that
the earthquakes? Dude, that has
Yeah.
to be distracting. That has to be distracting in class. Just
Oh, yeah, I can only
planes
imagine.
flying 100 feet over you.
Right, or like playing a football game or a baseball game.
E40 rapping about soccer right outside your homeroom.
Yeah, he's there all day. Hey, speaking of soccer field, I saw Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins a week ago today.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I saw a couple people were there. That looked like a great show.
That did look
It was
dope.
actually really, really good.
Yeah.
It didn't give me the same. I guess I had to preface this with like the screen time and the media availability over my lifetime. I didn't make it for the Linda Lindas. I made it for the very end of Rancid, which I would have loved to hear Ruby Soho because my daughter's name is Ruby, but
Yeah.
did not hear it in time. But then we get there right as Rancid's wrapping up, and then Smashing Pumpkins comes out. But like Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day, like they were accessible. You knew what they were like outside of the music they'd make in a way. But I got way different chills when I was at Honor Nicotina last year,
Mm.
Right.
or earlier this year. Like just like putting the face to a person that wasn't just like a artwork image of him
Yeah.
was surreal. But this was still really cool to see these guys live. I thought that Green Day
Dope.
did an incredible job.
Interesting.
Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. I mean, yeah, their energy is like they're still 20.
Yeah.
I thought Smashing Pumpkins still sounded great, but we're starting to show
Not the
their
same.
age.
Not the same. I'm currently missing Juvenile at First Avenue. I was really considering going, but this week just got way too packed. But I'll still.
It's tonight?
It's right. It's happening like right now.
Wow, look at
You
the
know-
priorities, Terry. You're a grown man now. I love
know. I
You,
had to get this episode in. I'm sorry, Juvie.
Come on the
the party video I sent you guys of the party that was going on at my next door neighbor's house, which by
Yeah.
the way, it sounded
Where-
it sounded like a concert was going on next door. They blasted
Blow the whistle.
Yes, blow the whistle. That was so awesome, and I was like, I have to take a video of this and send it to the boys.
You didn't
But
just go to the party, be like, hey.
no, I did not just go to the party. I think it's an Airbnb.
If it was blow the whistle, they're probably our age.
Yeah, then you should definitely have gone. I'm surprised you didn't
Right.
just go knock on the door and just be like, "Hey, what's up?"
I like that
Blow the
song.
whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love-
I like
I
that
love Too
song.
Short.
Can I come hang?
So
But
it was just that night that they were bumping.
Well, they were doing like setup the night before, and Yuri was
Oh,
gone, and I was like,
Party
I
you had to set up a whole
think-
day before.
was like, I think they were trying to have a party, and then it stopped, and
You
then
just,
all
you
of a
just
sudden
triggered
it was,
Nappy Roots weekend in me, Benny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was a quinceañera.
God.
That's what I was told by the
Blow
other
the whistle at a
neighbors.
quinceañera.
If you had just
Yeah,
showed
that's-
up,
I'm
quinceañera,
here.
so like the
whistle.
musical musings of Taj Shah,
You know, one time back
and I
in
had our
San
first kiss
Francisco-
to blowjob Betty.
They played Juvenile though.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
they had all. Dude, how did you not go to this thing? There was a
I
bunch of
had to
Academy
restrain
Arts.
myself.
There was a bunch of Academy Arts students that lived across the hall from me in San Francisco. If you recall my first apartment in the Tenderloin.
Hell
I do.
yeah, I recall
And
that first
they'd
apartment in the
always-
Tenderloin.
Yeah. They'd
Let's go
always
back.
throw. I know. They'd always throw parties like on the weekends, but we knew we're like, I'm pretty sure they're like 18. And then APZG, Ron Stevens was in town, and he was like, "Are they throwing a party next door?" And we're like, "Oh, they're always throwing a party." He's like, "Dude, we should totally go." Like, I've only talked to these people like in passing, like they're way younger than us. We're not gonna go. Man,
You also were fairly
We-
young at the time, so to say
I know.
these people are
Well,
way
I was
younger
like
than
26. Yeah, I don't know, 26.
an
27.
elder statesman.
Yeah. But we finally like somehow are like outside their door, which is just across our door, and knocking on it, and they're like, shush, shush, shush. They get all quiet. Like, and I first was like, oh, they're gonna think we're gonna complain or be like, we're the cops.
We are totally not the cops. We just want to hang out. Yeah, you trust that voice
No,
on the other
they
side
go-
of the door.
They're like, it gets very quiet, and they're like, did someone order pizza? Like to the rest of the party. That's what I knew.
You guys should have brought a
I was
pi-
no
if you-
longer young.
If you bring a pizza, then they have to let you in. That's like, hey,
That's what I used to
you
do.
got to do a party offering a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when I worked at Round Table, man, that's how I would get beer at
Uh,
parties. Is I would bring a pizza and be like,
Who's
"Have
ready
at
to
it,"
trade?
but I'm gonna have a beer of yours.
Yeah, currency.
And I
Speaking
might
of
put
that
a few more in my
apartment, though,
backpack.
JP, that Aces is still alive and well. That bar's still killing it.
I hope so.
It is,
I have
it is.
not been. Did
I-
you go?
I hadn't been, but last time I was in San Francisco with Sam, we were getting brunch with one of her friends, and she had a second date taking place at Aces, like in the afternoon. And I was like, this
Oh,
man is
yeah.
a keeper. Go to that bar and you marry him right now.
Yeah.
And some of the other of her friends who were there, were like, yeah, we still go to Aces a fair amount, so it's still doing well.
There's
Love-
a swingers
love the
bar in
poker
Portland
table.
called Aces. It was
Different
right.
Aces.
It was right behind where I got my haircut at. What's that?
It was
place
right
that's a
behind
big
my
chain.
favorite swinger bar.
Yeah, it was the B Squad swinger bar. Supercuts. It was right behind Supercuts where I got my haircut.
Where's the Supercuts?
Up on
Not that I want to know where Aces is.
39th and Powell.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that place. So,
Yeah. I was like 10 when I saw it.
so
Yeah.
is it still around? No, okay.
I don't know.
Anyways, Aces, poker table in San Francisco, great to sit at. And Portland,
Yeah.
probably you want to touch that with some latex gloves.
Hand sanitizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be ready to have your worldview dramatically changed when you walk into Aces Portland. You get
Yeah.
it's
I'm
not
sorry,
just
I thought I was entering Supercuts.
Yeah. Where is the barber chair?
it's
It's up there on the stage, Benny. Go take a seat.
going to the bathroom at Santeria. Like you think this
It
is going to
is.
be a simple
Oh,
Man.
simple
and you're
trick.
eating a taco.
Dude, what a fucking Portland experience, right? You go to a burrito shop and go to the bathroom.
Portland
and they
is the
don't tell
city
you.
of hidden doors. Of course,
They don't tell you.
They're in
That's
on
true.
that shit.
So
They
for
know
our
right now.
listeners
They just point to the back door essentially.
Yes.
There's the bathroom. There.
Yeah.
Santeria was a Mexican, I wouldn't call it a restaurant, but it wasn't a food
No,
truck
it was like a
either. It was
taqueria.
like a taqueria, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was in downtown Portland, and it shared
Was
a
it not open anymore?
hallway to a bathroom
No, it's gone. Mary's moved too.
at the old Mary's strip club.
Mary's all nude review. Say it.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It was an all nude review.
Paul, I
first-
Different than
The
a
Profusely
first
apologize.
all nude bar west of the Mississippi, I
which
believe.
clearly
The
clearly
fullest.
had been open since Prohibition.
Yes.
Was
For
clearly
sure.
operating during Prohibition under the guise
Yeah.
of something else. So it's probably just like
Out of
no
Santa- out of
nude
Santeria,
review.
Taqueria.
Probably how
but
it
they
happened.
didn't. But through that hallway, there wasn't like a door for Mary's, so
No.
you just walked into what did you call it?
Mary's.
A nude review.
Oh,
You walked into Mary's.
You walked into
Yeah.
an all nude review.
They did not have an
Used
under
bathroom of the
18
taqueria.
bathroom either, so you just, no matter what, you just walked through this hallway, which
Yeah, and-
was
And you walk in there and you're like, is this the bathroom?
And-
Or
wrong door.
All of this is
Where
are
am
just
I?
stories we've been told about it. None of us ever actually went.
no, never.
well behaved young lads as we were during that.
I went the other way. I went to go grab a taco from Mary's. I went, or a burrito. Maybe I should say I grabbed a burrito from Santeria when I was at Mary's.
Jesus.
I do recall
Anyways.
I do recall a time visiting Santeria Taqueria with Benny on a Sunday afternoon, and we got
when you
lost on the
practiced
way to the
Santeria.
bathroom. We got lost on the way to the bathrooms, and Benny
Yeah, you
decided he
got
was too
lost.
hungry to find his way home, and just ate his fish tacos inside of Mary's.
Oh, I remember that.
And I was like, "This is
This is
The
poetic.
longest,
There are
the longest I've ever
le-
spent at a
levels
Mexican
of
restaurant.
poetry taking place in front of me right now.
Yeah.
Watching
Yeah.
Benny eat of this exact food in this exact location.
What can I say?
Well, we're
I'm a
not
sucker
here
for fish
tonight to
tacos.
talk about how good the fish tacos at Santeria were, or the very convenient it wasn't even adjoining, the most convenient adjoining room ever. So all
But
right,
it was
convenient for who?
convenient.
rest in paradise to Santeria and Mary's.
well, Mary's still around. It's just in a new
I know,
location.
but it's a different location. It's not the same. I haven't
It's not
been.
the same.
I actually haven't been to the new one. I'll check it out next time I'm there.
No comments
out.
about my wife and I went on our anniversary.
See,
Oh, nice.
Not this
marriage
year.
is
Yeah.
awesome.
We had to
Lucky.
check it out.
Whoa,
We were down there
God.
already.
I love it.
I'll admit it. We went. Yeah, we
That's
went. It
what
was fun.
true love is. Well, anyway, I can't believe it's fucking October. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Oregon State's football season is a third of the way through. It's October 2nd.
don't say
It's,
that.
it's spooky season. I mean, it's spooky.
It is spooky season.
How far
Mm-mm.
into this season we are, and it's officially spooky season. We're having a Halloween party later this month. Really jacked about that.
At your house?
Whoa!
You guys can
Thanks for
come.
the
During
fucking
spooky
invite, you
season?
asshole.
October 25th.
Next to
Are
Halloween.
you having it in your basement?
We should set up
Oh.
like a little like haunted house tour
No.
in the basement.
No,
We don't
just-
even need
when
to really
everyone
set
starts
anything
to-
up. It's just like go down there, have fun.
Yeah. When everyone arrives, you go down this way, and you just lead them down to the basement and
And
close
then
the door behind
shut the
them.
door.
You can listen
Decorations
to the
down
rest of
there
us
were
party.
decorations down there were so scary. Those weren't decorations. It's just,
Yeah.
it is just a murder basement.
Yeah.
It looks like that 12 months out of the year. We love Halloween. We love Halloween so much that we moved into a murder basement. Yeah. October 2nd. Holy shit.
I know, man. It's crazy.
Spooky.
It feels like fall. This is the first week
It
where
does.
it has truly
It's still
felt like
hot
fall.
as hell over here. Like,
We had some warm days, but I agree, Benny. I was saying this the other day to a bunch of people, I feel like, but I was like, this is the most gradual fall we've had in like the last 5 years.
nice.
Yeah.
Where it didn't just go from like 95 to 60 overnight and then like stick at 60 forever. It's been that nice decline into the crisper weather, and it has made it feel so much more like fall is here versus like I was sweating my ass off outside yesterday. Now today the
It's
heater is on
freezing.
in our house.
Yeah.
We got
I
that
love
for a
it.
second.
I love it.
But it was clearly false fall. And like today we had a high of like 79 or something again. And I was trying to wear some of my cute new fall shit and it was just way too hot. So
Dude, it's like
Nice.
113 in Phoenix. I was watching the news today. I was like, dude, it's been like, it hasn't
Well,
been
most
higher
of
than
the
like
West-
70.
right.
Most of the West has like a heat wave right now. The Bay Area does too.
Yeah.
Like an abnormal heat wave.
Yeah. It's like mid 90s in the Bay.
Global
It's crazy.
cooling
You know what's
is
always
ruining the weather patterns.
Good for a heat wave is a nice cold beer during a beer segment.
Ooh, all
Nice
right.
cold anything or temperature, whatever, if that's your thing. First of all, because it's spooky season, I was reminded by my beautiful fiance that we have Halloween glassware available. So she was like, use it on
Wow.
the show. This one says Bloody Thirsty on it.
Oh,
Bloody Thirsty.
Oh.
And
you're like a vampire.
I wish I could show the color because it's kind of. I'm drinking a honey berry cider from Wild State Cider, and look, there's a
Like
cute little,
blood.
there's a cute little honey badger on it. That looks like
Oh,
a
it's
rodent
blue.
related to the beaver. Yes, the liquid itself is like kind of a reddish blue sort of thing. So
Yeah.
Like purple?
So that's like
yeah. But
yeah.
like it's
But
more
maybe
red.
maybe like the blood
It's more-
inside
yeah.
your body before it comes out of your body.
This is something like if like I'm trying to figure out what's a good Halloween beverage for a Halloween party, and it's like if we just had like a clear like tub of this and then like labeled it blood, like that would be fun.
Oh, or you could get a big like plastic box and
Of
put
blood.
purple Kool-Aid in it and Everclear and then charge people $5 a cup
Right.
and make a lot of money like we did at my party.
It's true. And then you know who hasn't paid when you remember they haven't paid you anything, but their mouth is bright
So
purple.
So
Yeah.
purple. Just
Like,
so purple.
That's like being caught red-handed in a underage college party.
And when they puke,
Yeah, getting caught purple lipped.
when they puke
Yeah.
purple all over the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one really puked at the party, I don't think. You did though, Benny. I don't know if that was that night.
Yeah, God. Yeah, the night before.
Yeah.
So that was like
Bender.
like purple drank jungle juice you made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we definitely legally paid for all of the Kool-Aid packets. We did not. We did
Well,
not.
it
pay
was
for
Like,
two-
why? Why did
Enough
you
to
do that?
serve
They're so
minors.
The
cheap.
You drink
19
illegally
cent
yourself.
packets. Yeah. Well, we were out of money.
The statute of limitation. Is this going to be like the time I made fun of you for chasing a mouse? And you were like, sorry, we were poor, Terry.
Yeah.
And having
Yeah.
internship. That's
Yeah.
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 It
This
was
is
like
like
a
that.
sweatshop that I was
You-
working
you-
in.
Still won't co-sign off of that word choice, but vis-a-vis. People don't think you needed to steal 19-cent Kool-Aid packets, but I don't care that you did.
Well, we needed it to be very grapey.
Very
so
grapey. Exactly.
It was so.
Yeah.
The party would have
yeah.
been ruined if
The-
it wasn't the right amount of
The
grapey.
money available versus the amount of grapey required was just
Oh,
not
yeah.
equitable.
It was skewed, yeah.
Yeah.
I also think the song "I Got Purple, I Got Grapes" was
yeah.
very popular at the time.
Shout out Numb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, was it? Yeah,
was
Numb.
Numb. It
They
was
came out with a
Numb.
new song recently, "Hollow Hollow," which is actually really catchy. If you haven't
Really?
heard it, HALOHALO.
And seasonal for Hollow.
I like
The
Halloween.
Hollow.
Sleep, like,
Yeah,
or
I think they're
or Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
I think they're just talking about something completely different than that, but it's a
still
good
gonna
song. My
use
kids
it.
love it even.
Dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. On Halloween, you can just shout "Hollow, hollow" like they do in the song.
Okay.
Don't
I'll
ask for
add-
5 seconds.
I'll add that to my Halloween list that includes
You should.
Monster Mash.
You should.
And
Monster
People go,
Mash.
"Whoa, is this song about Halloween?" You go, "Nah, they just say
there
holla,
needs to be
holla."
more dope Halloween songs. There's actually, I think I realized this last year. There's more than you think there are, but still not enough. So I'm challenging.
Yeah.
I know we have lots of talented music acts who listen to this show. Make some Halloween bangers. Come on.
Yeah, or send us your most underrated Halloween banger. I was gonna shout out Jason Nolan, listener Jason.
Fuck yeah,
Did
Jason.
let us know
Great
last
Halloween
week
name.
about our request about good Halloween name, Jason. Way to go. Way to really lean into spooky season, Jason.
Murder teenagers across like 6 different movies, man. Doing
Yeah.
good work.
Yeah. And sometimes you do it in space. If you haven't seen Jason X, you should
I
really
have
watch
not
that
seen
movie.
Is
I
there
haven't
really?
either.
What? You haven't seen Jason X?
No,
What a masterpiece.
Do not say you haven't seen Jason X like that's some surprising bit of information.
I've seen Jason X probably like a dozen times. Maybe one of my most watched movies ever.
Oh,
Anyways,
wow.
All right, maybe I'll watch
Jason
it this spooky
N
season.
did say that if we haven't seen Barbarian, it's a must see. So just as an
Barbarian,
update
okay.
on our request, yeah. And I can't recall if I've seen
Barbarian.
it. Barbarian.
Is
yeah.
that new?
If you haven't seen Barbarian, it's a must see.
That's all. That's all.
Is that a
information.
movie?
It's a movie, yeah.
Okay. New movie?
Yeah.
It's
I don't think it's that.
no.
new.
It's a live play. Like when
It's
the audience is
it's
also part of
it's
the
from-
play, and like one audience member actually gets murdered, and it takes place in my basement on October 25th. See Barbarian, Benny. Will you be the lucky
Yeah.
survivor? Only time will tell.
Barbarian came out in
Touche.
2022, by the way, and I
Okay.
feel like I have seen it, though. This happens all the time with horror movies because I watch them really like 1 month out of the year, and then I end up being like,
Right.
"Oh, this one looks really good," and we start it, and it's like, "Wait, we've seen this one. We watched this one like last year or year before that."
That's like
All
me
the
with
time.
crime docs.
Yeah, all the time. Anyways, check out Barbarian. I have a question before I get to my beer because it's about Terry's, and kind of about Terry's bloodthirsty beer. But at what age were you guys when you really put 2 and 2 together that blood isn't always red, even though you can see veins in your body, and you were like, my
Right.
elbow's a vein. That's a vein, and then you like,
Right.
"Oh, blood, it's red." Like, when did it finally click for you? We were like, "What can be like blue?" What?
I think I was like 7 or something, where like some older kid was like, blood is blue like when it's in your body, but then when you like draw blood, it turns red. And I believed that like it was that simple for like probably 5 years. Like and Peter the fuck just said, "Yeah, it's actually blue. It just turns red when you start bleeding." And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." I don't know.
Somebody definitely told me too, but I was old enough to where they had said like when oxygen mixes with the blood, it turns it red. So I was old enough to understand what that meant. Which I don't know, maybe
I think I was
like the 4th or 5th
It's how
grade.
like it's lava only
Well-
becomes lava when it's on the surface, but before that it's magma.
It's magma.
Yeah.
Is
So
this
what was
related to the
blood
beer
science
segment?
podcast?
Because we said this episode was only going to be an hour. We're already almost to a half an hour, and we
Oh
haven't
my
said
God.
shit
Well,
yet.
No, it's about your blood beer.
My
But
blood beer.
I'll do my beer because
Bloody
it's
thirsty.
about spooky season. In a way, it's really loosely related to spooky season because it's a Paulaner Oktoberfest. beer.
Oktoberfest.
Oh, okay.
And since
Let's
it's October
go.
2nd, I
It
thought
is October 2nd.
I know it's not really Oktoberfest now. Though.
Oktoberfest is like
Oktoberfest
September 20th.
celebrations.
It's like
something
late
that.
September, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it
still.
celebrates like the coming of the starts
We
of October.
we can still celebrate Oktoberfest
In America,
retrospectively
we
for the
celebrate
rest of October.
Oktoberfest rightfully in the month of October as it is named.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't try to be
I hereby
confusing about our
proclaim-
holidays.
Well, because the Germans
Yeah.
are just, so efficient and quick that they get their Oktoberfest done in September, and then they go back to building Volkswagens at like an incredible rate. Well, we just
Yes,
spend the rest of October
facts.
in the beers that they send over.
Yeah, they're like, these are leftovers from
And
our
pretzels.
Oktoberfest. You guys celebrate in October.
Yeah.
I actually won this beer at an Oktoberfest party this weekend.
Nice.
Not in any really exciting fashion.
Yeah.
I was one of 2 adults to fill in like a bingo card of things to do at the party.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so I got to pick like from a prize pack, and this was the only beer prize, so I picked it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun party.
Not to bring it back to me or the infamous party, but do you remember that all of my dad's expensive German beer got completely swiped?
Right.
It was a ton of them,
And then
too.
like consumed through a beer bong, and people just like
Yeah.
immediately puked it back up.
I had nothing to do with the like 1:30 in the morning venture into the under the house where these beers were
JP,
stored.
I think the statute of limitations of Ben's parents being mad at you for this party in 2005 have
I don't know, man.
expired.
This was- so I didn't drink all of them, but I did know where they might be.
Nothing to do with this. I didn't drink all of them.
I think you had told me this.
Yeah, and
Before.
somebody else was like, just like swooped them all out when I wasn't looking, and then we went back and we're like, let's check on the beers, and it was like empty,
Yeah.
empty.
Check
Yep.
on the beer.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
That
We're
was-
not,
really
we're not going
buy
to
them,
drink
just
them
to
all.
replace them.
Dad, stop freaking out. We're just going to check on them.
Yeah,
We just want
No.
to see them.
Yeah.
we just wanted to make sure we didn't have to replace like 70
Well,
different
three
German.
of us are taking
expensive
German.
beers.
We're in German
our
1
worst
right now.
case
We want to
nightmare
test what
is
we've
like
learned.
German.
For
won't
those
think
of
of
you
German, I don't
listening
understand.
that are of the age where you still throw ragers, if there are any listeners, I would suggest not passing out at your own party.
No.
There
Yeah,
are
good advice.
Very
there
key.
are bad things that will happen.
That is very
Yeah.
key. Don't pass out at your
Yeah.
own party. Pie
Yeah.
caps. I hope the tradition of a semi-sober supervisor has lived on through the ages.
Mm.
I
we
never
have
did
that?
that.
Or if you ever
Terry was-
remotely approached being able to do that.
No, not even close.
But someone always was. It wasn't always me. It's rarely me, actually. I
Uh-huh.
decided who else had to do it. That was the best part.
That's true. And I would just try to light
I-
your presidential suite on fire by rewiring the doorbell,
Yeah.
I was
leaving
probably-
it smoking.
Not on semi-sober supervisor duty while also doing that.
I was on
Anyone thought you
partially
might have.
microscopically sober supervisor duty to make sure the doorbells worked correctly.
Remember when you
Which they did after you're done with it.
Well, it also smoked and
best-
filled the whole second floor with smoke.
the best prank ever because of I don't even know why, but was when I wasn't even there, and then you took out all of the light bulbs in my it was like
And
track
you had like
it was a weird
8
room.
track lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 8 track lights that I didn't put there. That was just the room I inherited. And then
From Dallas.
you were like that you,
Which checks.
you were gonna do a bunch of other shit, but after taking out the light bulbs, you couldn't see anything. So you were like, "Shit." Ehoy might have been with you. You're like, "Ehoy, you're tall. Put one of the light bulbs back in," and then you dropped it so it shattered. So then you just you could see the not iPad, not iPhone, iPod for the youngsters.
iPod, yeah.
Plugged into
Scroll
the-
wheel and
the
all.
on speaker dock and just put it up on the late night on repeat, and then
Yeah.
left, locking the
full
door
blast.
behind you when I didn't return for like a full day. So everyone had
People were like knocking on your door like 3 a.m. Like,
Hated-
Terry, can you turn it down, please?
Me. And Terry was hated, not you.
I know.
Not JP.
Uh,
People were
People
so
were
mad at
so
Terry
mad at me.
for owning the speaker that
I
was
woke
keeping
up the
everyone up.
next day to like 300 text messages, and this is before this is how old we are. This is before the days where you could have like easy like to read group chat. So like having 300 text messages was honestly almost impossible. And people were like, "You're fucking your fucking music off, asshole!" And I was like, "I'm not even there. What's happening? You guys break into my room all the time. Just break in again."
Yeah, because you locked the door behind you, didn't you?
Yeah, but I mean, you could just like press the latch and close it.
So funny
Yeah.
now. I was so not at the time. It was so loud.
I thought it was a well-executed prank.
It was very well executed.
Betty was legitimately mad at me, and I didn't know why for like a whole day.
Your room was like right next door, wasn't it? Were you in the second floor?
I think his was above.
I was. Yeah, mine was above. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty far away from yours, and it was still so loud.
It was
so
full
little
loud.
iPod docks.
It was
get,
like
get
it was
going.
a Bose dock.
Yeah.
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 It was loud.
Anyway, Benny,
Good old
what are
days.
you drinking? You have 10 seconds to tell us. This has been the longest
7
beer
Up,
segment.
which I feel dirty even drinking it. It's not Squirt, but it's
that-
cherry
I
7
was
Up.
gonna say, I was like, that looks red. Cherry
Yeah.
7 Up's good.
It's red like blood. So
Yeah, there you go.
Halloween. Yeah.
Spooky season.
7 Up, I think, is the best of that whole branch of sodas when you are sick. There's something about 7 Up that, like,
Yes.
it's good on like the stomach or whatever. That's like, because I'll take Sprite in any other situation, and then like ginger ale is a little bit different flavor. Anytime, like Sprite is better than 7. But if you're like actually sick and it's just like, oh, I can't just keep drinking water. I need something else. That's when 7 Up is perfect.
100% agree. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I was like raised on either 7 Up or ginger ale when I was sick. It was like saltines and 7 Up or saltines and ginger ale.
Everything the body needs.
Yeah. Whenever I was like deathly hungover in college, which, you know, was very
different.
rare. It was
that
like,
is different. That is different.
I'm just saying, if you slam a Sprite, just the way you want to drink a Sprite, but you always try to like, you know, restrain yourself.
Like
this
like
is just
Grant Hill
sugar.
in those 90s Sprite commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant Hill.
So if you just slam the Sprite, it is just game changing.
Yeah.
It is incredible. That is the
dude,
cure.
a cold
It is the
Sprite on a hungover, like a hot day in the summer.
Well, when are you not like overheating when you're hungover?
Right,
Unless you're me at my bachelor party where you're shivering.
I've not seen anybody in that bad of shape in like since, I don't think. Yeah, that was rough.
It was really rough. Really rough.
The quietest you have ever been by a lot.
I just wanted to warm the blanket.
Is that
worth it?
Heights in San Francisco?
Yeah, we were at Diamond Heights.
Hell yeah.
Gorgeous view of downtown.
That was
such
the
a
first
good location.
Airbnb I ever like stayed in.
Well,
Really?
I think it might have been the first that. Yeah, it might have been.
Airbnb was super new at that point.
Yeah,
we had a hot tub.
That's
We
right.
had a whole wall of really fancy plates that were
thank God
is about to fall over.
Thank God
my God.
Tava was doing like sober summer or whatever it was.
Well, he was doing no alcohol.
That was
no
also
alcohol summer
when Turned Down for What was big. So we of course danced to that for 3 hours when we got back that night.
Straight.
Just repeat. It was kind of like hot tubbing on a late night played on Terry's Bose speakers.
Right.
Yeah. And the reverberation on that wall of fancy plates that was in an Airbnb of all things.
Well, that's right. Well, the hot tub
definitely started to make the feet walk on that little shelf it was on. It was like
it was a hot tub, but it wasn't the biggest hot tub. It was spacious enough. There was 7 of us in there, and we can call one of us Oregon State, another one Washington State. There are four dudes from the Mountain West rolled in and then popped in. And then we had 7 people in it when Utah State rolled in, and they were like, "Where the fuck were you?" They were like, "We couldn't find the place." And we're like, "Oh, did I be here earlier?" They're like, "I know. I didn't know if I was fully invited, but I guess like someone else couldn't come." So then Boise State said, "I guess it's cool. Bring girls though." And I was like, "I'm Utah." Utah State jumped in, and then after that, Gonzaga came, and we were like, "Where the fuck did you come from? And
They're like,
that,
we brought the weed.
my friends, is what you call a segue.
Wow.
Yes.
Gonzaga,
Wow.
which probably should have joined the Pac-12 during the year of JP's
Especially
bachelor
since they came to
party
my bachelor party.
in
Yeah.
2000
That's a good call.
fucking 14. Yeah, that's the year it was. Yeah, 2014. You got married in 2014.
That's 14.
Yeah. And I think it was
Yeah. I was not wrong.
10 years ago,
Remembering.
Pac-12 was a bit more of a lucrative invitation, but needless to say, 10 years later, they do accept the invitation. Gonzaga to the Pac, and I just think our group chat kind of said it all. This was, there's, I don't want to get into the drama that's brewed on Twitter of hashtag bad journalism or good journalism. JP, I don't think any of us actually even care about this one, but
Bring it on, Terry.
since it was reported by Action Network back on September 23rd that Gonzaga was going to join the Pac-12 on that same day that like every other prospect said no. And we're like, cool, Gonzaga, I guess. We still need to figure out football, but Gonzaga basketball is fun. And then within minutes, so many people were like, there was no truth to that report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely refuted everywhere.
So now we just go back to nothing. Fun. And a week or so later now.
Hey, not nothing.
Not nothing.
But definitely feeling walked over. And
Right.
also definitely feeling like that poor reporter was now exposed for having sources that were planting bad data to them.
Right. It turns out, but like it was like the caveat was like they are having serious talks, but absolutely nothing has been agreed to. And now it's been agreed to. Conference, the schools have made it official. Gonzaga to the Pac-12. Pac-12 still in search of its next conference member. I don't want to spend a time speculating on who that might be, because we've already talked long about nonsense.
And none of the reporters have any idea of what they're talking about.
No, I don't think anyone really does. But we did have to sort of endure that whole like when you're searching for like, oh, maybe someone has something, and you're just finding people dancing on the perceived grave of the Pac-12 again. It's like, why you haven't had enough fun making fun of Oregon State and Washington State for now more than 2 fucking years since USC and UCLA dropped that bomb. That hasn't gotten old yet. Of course it hasn't gotten old yet. Those assholes have no imagination. But anyway, Gonzaga hoops joins the Pac-12 combined with San Diego State hoops. Benny, you had the great on Twitter that Pac-12 now has 2 members who have played in a men's college basketball national championship game in like the last 2 years?
2 out of the last 4 years.
The last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The traditional Pac-12, it's been since 2006. So
yeah,
it's a sneaky good basketball conference right now, especially with teams like Utah State has been really good in men's hoops. Boise State, sneaky good. Colorado State's had some teams not like super pop, but like make the tournament and be all right. So Gonzaga,
I wouldn't say sneaky good.
And
I don't even think sneaky good.
And Gonzaga, Gonzaga is just good across the board in their sports. There's been partnerships and relationships built with, Gonzaga baseball, Gonzaga women's soccer, Gonzaga men's soccer. So I like it for all those reasons. We don't know all of the financial details, but just, now that we've seen the official report, just what was kind of your guys' reactions to Gonzaga, the long rumored addition to the Pac-12, which I think started even when it was the Pac-10, being like, let's go get Gonzaga because we need another good basketball team. But Gonzaga, they're in the conference now, Benny.
Yeah, I think, when we first heard the rumors come out, I thought it would be a good get, but obviously like so focused on football that it kind of was an afterthought, right? Like, okay, Gonzaga's over here, but let's talk about Memphis and Tulane. That's more important.
Sure.
I think now that I've had a second to sort of digest the news, it is arguably better than getting Memphis or Tulane. And I hesitate saying that but it's on the same level, and I think it's on the same level because it does put the Pac-12 as definitely a top 5 conference for basketball, and I think that is really important to round out the Pac-12 to not just focus on football, but you legitimately, you're in a better conference now basketball wise, and you might have people. I think you'd have some argument from people just saying like you don't have the brand recognition, but in terms of talent, like you're playing in a better conference, and I think that will, and we'll talk about this in a second, but Oregon State is already getting investment into their basketball program.
We're gonna talk about this, yeah.
Yeah, and like we've discussed it on the pod before, like when Gill is filled in basketball and there is enthusiasm around basketball, Oregon State's a real special place. And we've had success in women's basketball, but to have success in both women's and men's basketball, Oregon State hasn't had that in a really long time, other than the flash in the pan when we made it to the Elite Eight.
It was still severe COVID restrictions on crowds, so it's not like Gill was lit,
we weren't exactly good that year
during the regular season.
Yeah, so like Corvallis, we didn't get to experience that as
that team got to the conference tournament. It was like, what if we just made the Elite Eight?
Right. They weren't on anyone's radar. So obviously this doesn't make Oregon State a better basketball team, but I think it's probably easier to recruit now. San Diego State and Gonzaga making the championship game in the last 4 years. And it's just adding to this regionality of the conference. And I think that's really important. Memphis, I'm not going to lie, Memphis and Tulane would be great for football. But the regionality is pivotal, I think, in all of this. And I think it's going to be really important as we go into the future. But as fans, like, it's great. I live in Tacoma. Being able to get over to Spokane, it's not super close, but it's close enough where I could go see a game if I wanted to. You match that with Boise State and Fresno State and San Diego. Like, these are all schools that you can get to easily. So I think that's also another important factor. I know that was important to Gonzaga. So yeah, huge win. And I continue to be very impressed with what Teresa Golden and the rest of the individuals that are involved in making these decisions have done. I mean, it's truly incredible to go from where we were at just 2 months ago to being where we're at now. Terry, you alluded to it. Like, people are trying to dance on a grave that's no longer there when news doesn't go our way now. And to me, that's a signal that positive things are happening.
Here's a $64,000 question, though, Benny. Do they have to change their name to Gonzaga State? They are the only team without state in the title, and currently the only private school.
Currently the only private school, yeah. I think we should propose that Gonzaga State, the only private state school.
The only private state school. Yeah.
I buy that. You can make some sick jerseys with Gonzaga State.
You could.
Yeah.
Memphis was originally named Memphis State too. I don't want this to dive into a conversation about who's not here. Memphis isn't in the hot tub. That doesn't mean they're not coming to the hot tub. It means they're not in it yet. But Gonzaga is.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't need to dive into who might be coming, but I do think that the addition of Gonzaga makes the Pac-12 a lot more of a desirable location. It gives you leverage in some of those conversations.
And just on your claim, and Jay, I'll kick it to you in a second, but just on your claim that Oregon State and Washington State are now playing in a better basketball conference than they were, I can understand why there'd be pushback on that based on brand recognition. But as our friends, the Payton-years, say, it's a great time to bring up that Oregon State has played an Elite Eight more recently than Arizona has.
It's true.
So have fun with Arizona, Big 12. They will not do shit in March.
They will let you down.
You know who does do shit in March? The Zags, baby!
Yeah.
I was never
That's
a
right.
conference pride guy, but now I'm feeling it.
Dude, seriously though, right? Like,
Zags.
Well,
I feel that.
All
This
the
feels
best
earned and
Minnesota
deserved.
Hoopers go to play at Gonzaga. It's a thing. It's a pipeline. I have connections now. Chet Holmgren, Jalen Suggs, baby. Let's go Zags.
I'm actually starting to wonder about some of these targets and additions and the I don't know, the game plan of the conference leadership and the college leadership, not in a questionable way that I'm thinking like, what are they doing? But more so like, what are they doing? Right. And to me, I think with the obvious emphasis and focus of fans, media pundits, everything on football, prestige of a football program, marketability of a football program, market reach of a football program, that seems to be the determining factor of how most are now ingrained to measure a conference, and especially in this moment of a conference building again. Everyone's looking at those metrics. But I would say the last couple of moves, I mean, Utah State and Gonzaga, to me, are basketball plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the first four were clearly for football forward, but also, you know, all athletic department plays.
Sure.
These last two were basketball plays.
Mhm.
And now I wonder what's next, because I think, do we just lean into basketball? Do we become a basketball conference?
The Big
At a
East,
time-
but in the Big
Yeah.
West.
Yeah. I mean, look, if the opportunity isn't available, like, you have to stay afloat and relevant one way or another.
Right.
So if there's no opportunity to add teams to your conference that are great football programs that have a good footprint that are going to drive any sort of national commentary about you, then maybe you only take the ones that you did get and you just start plucking the best basketball, and then maybe
Right.
even basketball, baseball,
Sure.
like schools.
I think it
That
is.
right now, did you see this? That was that using the rankings from last season, that the returning Pac-2 plus the newest additions would have the fourth best net ranking
Mhm.
compared to all other conferences last season.
And significantly above where the former Pac-12 landed.
Yeah,
This isn't men's
Yeah.
basketball.
Mhm.
yeah,
And it is
Yeah.
worth mentioning, because I do think, to be in reality here, that football money is kind of what runs
your bread and
everything
butter.
here.
Yeah.
But can't talking about abandoning football or anything. Far down that line, but still the next most valuable thing in
right.
terms of money in college athletics is NCAA tournament units.
Yeah.
And that was a major sticking point in all of the lawsuits that Oregon State and Washington State were involved in with the fall of the Pac-12 as we had known it. So making sure that there's a strength in men's and women's basketball in this new version of the Pac-12. It's not the same as, you know, the SEC acquiring the football programs of Texas and Oklahoma, but it is key to survival. And I think we talked about this way back when all of this was happening, June of 22, August of 23, all that shit. There's not going to be just one move that erases everything and saves everything. You need a series of great chess moves. The thing,
Well, you also need to have
Gonzaga it's as consistent,
yeah,
reliable any program in college sports, and it's good brand value. Like, they'll just churn out Sweet 16. It's a Sweet 16 factory.
yeah.
And they up their brand value significantly by joining the Pac-12.
They did. I mean,
Right?
it was mutually beneficial. Absolutely.
Because Gonzaga was always looked at as like,
What is-
yeah, they're good, but they roll through the West Coast Conference. And with St. Mary's making sort of a surge.
That's why I
maybe
questioned
change
if
that
they
a
would
little
ever
bit.
leave, because I thought they just didn't
Right.
care. That was like kind of, I was like, If they haven't come,
But it was
yet,
like,
why would they come now? But
right, but
again,
it's like there. No one argued that they weren't good, but it's like that you knew they were going to make the tournament every year. You knew that they were going to win their conference, probably go,
Right.
one or two losses, and I think that diminishes your brand value. And so by them joining a conference that has Utah State, who has made the tournament in I think 4 out of the last 6 years.
And they've had some squads too. Like they've been,
yeah, they have.
And like fun, like in those. I haven't really watched Utah State football on TV. I'll be honest, but I have watched Utah State basketball a fair amount, and like that.
Their home crowds are crazy.
Atmosphere for sure. Like I want to go to a basketball game at Utah State for sure.
Well, and San Diego State and Oregon State and Washington State, when their programs are doing well, they're big basketballs. Oregon State especially is a huge basketball school, and people forget about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Gonzaga has really upped their brand value, which I think makes them a bigger get than maybe what people are thinking right now.
Let's switch gears.
And also, wait, real quick though, like I do think that staying afloat on basketball isn't maybe the only priority of some of these moves, and maybe should not dictate any kind of short-term visions of other upcoming potential ads.
This move for sure begets other moves.
Yeah, but also you have to remember, like, I mean, yes, college football has always been king of college athletics for the most part, but the popularity of the NBA in the public eye has been skyrocketing over the last 15 years. I mean, for maximum reach, it has definitely eclipsed everything but the NFL. And it wasn't that long ago, 20, maybe before Jordan, maybe 30 years ago, Jordan's peak, when the NBA was third, maybe even fourth fiddle in the U.S. Basketball is on an ascension, absolute ascension when it comes to other sports. And NFL and football in general has also seen a lot of increase in viewership and money and funding and advertising and everything else.
And
but if you're going to hit you, and women's basketball has also been on a massive rise.
Even the games that Caitlin Clark's not playing in, you can look up the numbers. They're pretty fucking good.
That's my point. It's just basketball as a game in general, not just men's, but basketball as a game in general is absolutely growing like crazy. And if you're looking at maybe just securing yourself in the right position, should that start to eat into football's popularity, these are not bad moves. That is not a bad position to be in.
You bring up an interesting point about sort of the trajectory of where sports are headed, because I think one other thing that you have to take into account is with this realignment, I feel like I don't even have to say it, but it's all football focused, right? So you're not dealing with the same sort of just daunting realities in men's basketball, well, in women's basketball that you are in football. And because you're seeing that in football, I think you're going to see, if you haven't already, schools you only have a finite amount of money, right? You can only raise a certain amount of money. And I think you're seeing a ton of that money funnel into football programs. Football has just taken the limelight in a way that we haven't seen before in the last couple of years. And especially if the SEC and Big Ten sort of create the super conference that seems like it's coming, more and more higher percentage of that money is going to be divvied out to football, which does open up a door to be basketball focused. And I don't think Oregon State should necessarily do that, but building a conference that is
no, you keep it in your back pocket.
Right. But building a conference that has their eye on basketball is really important too. We do want to focus on that is a really, really, really good thing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if you're going to hedge your bet.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That is the way to do it.
And that's exactly, 100%.
Well, that's a great way to switch gears into making this a little bit more Oregon State specific, because during the same week, we saw one of the most generous public donations towards Oregon State basketball that we've seen ever.
I don't remember seeing one. Yeah.
State alum Joth Ricci. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Relation to Christina Ricci? I don't think so, but we'll update
Maybe.
as saying this is up in the air. And the CEO of Dutch Bros, currently CEO of Burgerville, I believe, a bunch of other big companies. Oregon State class of 1990 donates $3 million to the Oregon State basketball program, 1.5 million to start an endowed fund for men's basketball, and 1.5 million to start an endowed fund for women's basketball. And why this is significant, one, is because money talks and money walks when it comes to college athletics. Even though 3 million is not an amount that's like crazy fuck you money, we can build an arena on the moon now, we can do whatever we want. But seeing the reaction to this, sort of the social media celebration of it, the mini media tour that I've seen Ricci on, like he was on with Canzano, there's a lot of, social media traction about it. That stuff matters because it needs to be in the public eye that contributing to the programs is rewarding and fun is also in your own best interest. Because I think that's been a common theme, especially when it comes to men's basketball. We've heard from Steve Johnson on this program.
I'm sure he's feeling real happy about seeing.
I'm sure Joth and Steve
a great week for him.
Have talked. Like they for sure have. We need to see buy-in because, especially talking with Steve and reading on some experiences from other former players, a lot of guys didn't feel taken care of or didn't feel appreciated during their times at Oregon State. And those stories need to be heard and received and reacted to. I think seeing some buy-in, literal and figurative buy-in that's backed financially is a big step, because we've been just like begging, like, why can't rich Beavs just throw a bunch of money at the athletic programs? And even though I think I've always subscribed, money's great. You can't just throw money at a problem and expect it to go away. We still need to make sure that this gets invested wisely. But seeing this for this to happen the same week that Gonzaga comes to the Pac-12, for the hoops loving Beavs out there, it's not winning the fucking lottery, but it's two pieces of really reasonably good news that I think bodes well for the future. And I think you might see some copycat donations to this, because I think
it's just the first domino. Maybe
it can be a domino, it can be a snowball, and we don't have that kind of. I looked up you never know with the internet, but I looked up Joth Ricci net worth. The first thing that popped up was $72 million, making this 4% of his net worth, which is a pretty generous donation to generate 4% of what the internet estimates as your net worth. You have $1,000 in your bank account right now. That's like $40, which, if that's the amount in your bank account, no shame. We've all been there, but you're probably just not setting $40 on fire in that situation. You're probably only spending $40 on, back in the day, you could get like 430 racks of Keystone Light at Circle K, and that's a great investment. Yeah. So I think we should all just go. I haven't done this yet, but I think we should all just go and give $40 to Oregon State basketball, men's basketball and women's basketball. I know we can afford that much, at least, just to maybe. I think you should leave. Maybe it'll start a chain or something, Benny. Maybe it'll catch on. I don't know. 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, and 55 pies. I want to buy meals for these student athletes. I'm just happy to see people with means excited about the future of Oregon State athletics. And thank you, Mr. Ricci, for the generosity, and I trust the university to invest it in the right ways and make the most of it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like if this was kind of the the start of the snowball that rolls down the hill and gets bigger and bigger, like Steve talked about with us.
It's
Yeah.
the best week that Oregon State men's basketball has had since the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Why?
Didn't Mr. Ricci he made a comment like, yeah, I mean, he straight up said, like, I don't think there's ever been a better time to invest in Oregon State athletics or OSU athletics. Anytime you're in an uncertain situation, you have a choice to make. You can wait and see what happens to you, or you can get engaged and build your own narrative. And so, I mean, I think, look, I'm not going to be somebody to talk about other people's money by any means, but we've all seen the chatter of, well, yeah, you think NIL is not fair? You think that Oregon State's slacking in NIL, or you think that we're not doing enough compared to other schools? Well, where do you think NIL money is coming from these days? It's not businesses as much as it is personal donations. So if you're going to complain, then whip out your checkbook, right? And I don't entirely abide by that philosophy by any means. However, it is nice to see somebody at Oregon State put their foot down and say, no, like this is a very uncertain time for our university. So I am doing something that I can have the means to do in order to at least feel better about there being an effort to remedy or, rectify whatever situation we've ended up in. No matter how we got here, no matter what's going on, like there's a way out essentially. And I think that was a very clear quote that says, like, really is calling on every alumni, not just the ones with any money to spend.
It's blowing the horn for sure.
Yeah. You can sit around and wait, or you can do something about it.
Yeah.
I think there's something real special brewing with the basketball programs. I mean, if you look at it, really, neither basketball program has been in this bad of a spot in a while. It feels like with the women's basketball
Maybe I would say
team
bad about women's, but tough for women's.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got their whole team gutted.
Not a whole team. There's still some studs returning.
True. They had a lot. Yeah,
a
big portion.
Back.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm going to blow your guys' mind. Speaking of Steve Johnson.
I love it.
Do you know that Steve Johnson has is fifth on Oregon State's record book for single season blocks in the season?
Sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's tied with somebody, though. And that is Philip Ricci, who I believe is related
to Christina Ricci.
They do spell their his last name the same way as the founder.
I thought you were about to say they spell their last name different, but they could still be related. And I was gonna be like, Betty, come on.
No,
Philip.
They spell their last names the same. Yeah. So I think he was playing basketball, if I remember right, like in 2001, 2002.
Philip Ricci? I don't remember that.
Yeah. He was on the same team with Lamar Hurd.
Younger than like
it'd be like 05, 04, 03, 04, 05, right?
It seems like Joth's whole family has gone to Oregon State.
Yeah.
So that's not surprising.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ricci's a SAE, so he's also
in the Greek
in the Greek system. Okay.
Yeah. He might have pulled a prank or two during his time, like mine.
We'll have him on the pod. Be like, did you ever steal the president's
play a boombox
and put Ashcon on? Have better questions than that prepared for him if we ever have him on the pod. But yeah, Mr. Ricci, come on the pod whenever you want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just good. It's just good right now. Happy to see it.
Life's good, baby.
Life's good.
Spooky
and
season.
If I may remind you, I think it's as good a time as any to bring up that Oregon State has made an Elite Eight more recently than Arizona has.
Thank you.
It's never a bad time.
In case
I needed
forgot.
that reminder. I never forget, but it's always good to hear.
It's always great to hear. Should we talk a little football and then get out of here?
Let's do it.
Yeah, but we revisit. It's been 2 weeks since we revisited.
What's happening right now? Is someone crumpling something up?
Oh, sorry, that's me. Of course, it's me. It's a kind bar
Yo, I saw Cliff Bar is like getting sued or was sued.
You eat a
Oh,
kind
really?
bar
because they're just
9:30
fucking cookies marketed as healthy food.
Why
Yeah.
are you eating bars like this at 9:30 at night?
It was left over from work today.
Protein, baby.
Yeah.
Look at them muscles.
It's like the most random time to have a
Yeah.
kind bar. All right.
Yeah. Is the beach this way?
Oh,
Because I'll be wearing my sweatshirt because it's the Northwest
it's the
Coast.
fall now.
Yeah,
Well-
it's the spooky season.
Oregon State won its bye week, which is great.
Woo!
And
So who predicted that?
We all did.
Yes.
Mr.
3
Ricci.
for 3, and Mr. Ricci. Benny actually was like, "Yeah, I predict we will win our bye week," and also there's going to be a $3 million donation made the exact same weekend. In Oregon State,
Wouldn't
alum
be
to
surprised.
the men's and women's basketball programs.
As I drank my iced Kahlua kicker.
In to this game
I love
5
those. I think
matchup
they
with
make 'em
Colorado
anymore.
State. Colorado State is also coming off of a bye. Oregon
Mhm.
State are 11-point favorites coming into this game. CSU's not that great. They got a lot of juice. They talk a lot of shit in a way that I really respect. In the last 2 years, they have talked so much shit to Colorado, and they haven't stopped, and they've lost to them twice. Last
Yep.
year was that OT thriller, which I think you can say is a stamp of a moral victory.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah, early in the
Okay.
season.
Yeah, I watched that in a hotel because I was refusing to watch college football on my TVs.
I watched it at the Peacock.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I left you guys. I left you
Oh,
in
yeah.
Skins.
Yeah. I was going to say, we were all at an Oregon State game, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was San Diego State weekend.
That's right. Wow. Full circle. San Diego State and Colorado State are now both part of our
Yeah.
conference.
Wow.
Are we pulling the strings here? I don't know.
We might be. We might be.
Inadvertently.
Colorado State, not a lot of passing offense. Pretty good rushing offense. The Oregon State front seven will be tested in this game. Colorado State doesn't have a pair of running backs as impressive as Jam Griffin or Anthony Hankerson, because who fucking does?
No one.
No one.
But their backs, Justin Marshall and Avery Morrow. I almost said Anthony Morrow, great Golden State Warrior.
Ammo. Shout out ammo.
But let's look back at the preseason predictions that were made. Benny, would you like to go first?
Sure. What were my preseason
You
predictions?
said Oregon State will beat Colorado State by a
Yep.
final score of 24-7. Now, that would have them covering in this game. And that would also be a pretty significant under, as the over-under is
Yeah.
set at 47 and a
Mhm.
half.
Whoa.
So are you going to bet or bail on the margin, or bet or bail on the over under? I'll kind of make that separate because I think I see what might be coming from you. But anyway,
Yeah.
24-7 was
Yes.
your preseason prediction.
So I definitely think Oregon State covers. It's weird. This is the second straight week that Oregon State's played where the line has shifted away from Oregon State.
Yeah, it opened like 14 and a
per-
half, right? 13 and a half?
14 and a half. And
Yeah, but that's just
Purdue-
money moving. Like what? I mean,
Yeah.
that could just
yeah.
be people trying to
Yeah.
find something to put their money on.
Right.
Right. So I'm taking Oregon State with the spread. I think the game's going to be, it'll be more like 31-17.
So just hitting the over.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I hesitate to even say that because Oregon State, I think, has the potential to dominate time of possession again this game.
Oh, they will.
And so if they
Yeah.
can get up big, I think the under would be a safe bet, but we'll see. I think that this is Colorado State has had a lot of points scored on them. Their defense doesn't look great, and I would like to see Giovanni have just a game. That is what would make me feel good as a fan, and I'm going to go with my gut instinct of what I want that will make me feel good. So I do think that Oregon State puts up more points than, well, I guess that wouldn't be more points than what the people setting the lines would think. I think that's more kind of in line. So anyways, that's all to say. I think Giovanni is going to have a big game, and I think the game is going to be somewhere along the lines of 31-7.
AP, do you remember what you predicted for this one?
I predicted a full Weehage.
You predicted?
Yeah. I knew one of you guys did.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Build a chair. Just sit in it hella comfortably.
Full Weehage. Are you betting or bailing?
I am betting. I am absolutely betting.
Same score line and everything.
Everything. Full Weehage.
Full Weehage, baby.
This week.
It's going to happen
coming.
someday.
Dope.
It's coming.
Preseason prediction was an Oregon State win 37-27 after watching Colorado State. I guess I'll say I'm bailing on this, but it's in Oregon State's favor. I would give Oregon State another point and lower Colorado State to 21. So I have Oregon State covering and the over hitting. So we're all we're all in agreement, which is always scary when that happens. But
I mean, we're at home. I like it.
We're at home. It's, I do have questions about our rush defense, but I know that I feel confident in our rush offense, and I have a lot more questions about Colorado State's defense than I do our defense.
Yeah, I have more questions about Colorado.
Us like it's not gonna happen, and
Yeah,
I think we'll hit enough big plays.
Yeah, we're leading the nation in time of possession.
I just realized I predicted the exact same score as the Purdue game, which I guess doesn't happen a lot, but I'll take it. I'm gonna stick with it. 38-21.
I think that if you're a team that relies so heavily off the rush, that's a real tough position to be in when you're going up against a team that just likes to hold on to the ball.
Just owns it,
right? Like if you had a just real elite passing offense, I would be a little worried of Oregon State trying to hold on to the ball. For whatever reason, it feels like this matchup bodes in our favor, and I think we're all in agreement that Oregon State appears to be the better team.
Yep.
In the first 4 games that each team's played.
Yeah, so now you got to prove it. But I one thing I wanted to make a comment on was I don't want to put the onus of this game on Vonnie, because I feel like what he has done so far this season has actually been probably everything and maybe more than what's been asked of him.
Yeah.
So what I would love to see is less on what his numbers end up. Obviously, I trust Hank and Jam to carry the workload if necessary, and I trust Vonnie to make the right choices and right plays when called upon. But I need to see the receiving core and the tight end core, anybody running routes.
I'm
Please,
really hoping
somebody have a game, a memorable game. That's it. That's all I want.
And we'll be very happy if it's Darius Clemens.
Or Jermaine Terry. Or really anybody.
Dude, what if Gundy was just like, hey, I heard y'all, and then we get like a 10-catch, 120-yard, 2-touchdown game for Jermaine Terry. Maybe then they'll sell his fucking jersey
10
on
catch,
OSUBeavers.com. They sell every other player, but
11
not Jermaine
targets.
Terry, and I want to know why.
I want to see Zachary Card's speed on display more.
I want to see Card.
I would like that. But that's only a pass in college football 25.
We would like every skilled position player to have over 100 scrimmage yards, Gundy. Please do that.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
want to see
don't screw this up,
2,000
Kenny.
yards.
I want to see
Yeah.
2,000 yards and
But I
200
really,
points.
we're waiting for a breakout game from a wide receiver or a tight end,
Yeah.
not a quarterback, not a running back. Like I think what we've seen
Right,
from
we
both
need-
of those groups already has been enough
We need
to
to that we
agree
have
that
another
they're
year.
having. Yeah, exactly. That they're doing their part. Now I need to see somebody on the receiving end of the ball do something memorable all in one game.
Yeah. Darius Clemens has a very good chance to make that happen. I don't know against Colorado State. I mean, State's defense is not great. So
The splits
maybe.
on the Rams defense is not great. You know, they
whatever happened to the Rams? Whatever happened to their wide receiver? Their wide receiver was like from the Biletnikoff.
Torrey Horton?
Yeah,
he's not having a great year.
So he's not hurt.
He did miss a game. I think he's good to go for this, but yeah, they're not getting him. In the 3 games he played, he had 10 catches for 120 yards and no touchdowns. So
wow.
Their schedule, to give them not even really give them credit, it's blowout losses to Texas and Colorado and 2 possession wins to Northern Colorado and UTEP. 3 possession wins against Northern Colorado, but yeah, there's not.
What's his name?
Torrey Horton. He was the one who had the
Torrey Hortzman.
Terry Horseman.
Did you ever want to change your name to Torrey Holtman back in the day? Come on, no.
Torrey Holt.
You never thought about it?
No.
Yeah, it's like it says Torrey Holt.
Oh,
I knew that name sounded familiar.
I did love.
Like, wasn't there another receiver?
Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt was the shit.
Torrey Holt was the shit. Yeah.
He played for the Colts, right?
Rams.
For the Rams.
Did he play for the Colts at the end? I think he did.
At the end, but
no, Jags.
No, his last name just rhymes with Colt. That's what you're doing in your mind right
now. But his actual last name is he's Torrey Holtzman.
Torrey Joseph Holtzman.
Yeah, it's actually Torrey J. You guys have the same initials.
We have TJH. We do. Nice.
Yeah, TJH.
Yeah, I'll take if this podcast is the greatest show on turf, I'll take the role of Torrey Holt. JP is clearly Marshall Falk because he had a beer with his brother in San Diego one time.
Yeah.
What am I just fucking cousin. Kurt Warner?
That's MVP of the team.
Just
Kurt
bagging
Warner.
groceries.
Yeah, big groceries, bitch.
Yeah.
Betty, you can be Isaac Bruce. You can be Zahir Hakim, or you can be Ricky Prohl, the white wide receiver who was on that team, who you do kind of look like. I am just now realizing.
Who are the defenders?
They had Dre Blythe, and I think.
Yeah,
I like that.
Kevin Carter, DeMarco Farr.
Don't forget,
I want to be Dre.
Isaac Bruce was a Niner
Williams,
too. At the end of his career.
No.
Aeneas
I'll
Williams
be
played for the
Isaac Bruce and Dre.
And Dre.
I'll be
Isaac Bruce and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Dude, completely
that
off
Marshall
topic.
fucking Tupac. Fuck y'all.
Have you guys been watching Snoop Dogg on The Voice?
No, I don't watch The Voice.
You should. You'll like it. Trust me. It's even
Diddy parties.
No.
Oh
yeah.
No. Snoop,
I think Kanye has been.
Snoop is clean.
I mean, the
even
past
just go on YouTube and just be like Snoop on The Voice. Just Snoop on The Voice is as good as Snoop at the
But
Olympics.
then YouTube will distract me with their autocomplete search. It'll say YouTube at Diddy's party, and I won't stop going down the rabbit hole of evidence.
We're gonna have a lot of people who we really like now that we can't really like soon. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope it's not Juvenile.
Kevin Hart.
Definitely Kevin Hart.
He's gone.
Definitely Kevin Hart.
Based on the history of Cash Money Records, this Juvenile concert that was supposed to start 3.5 hours ago is probably just starting. So I'm going to go try to catch it.
Juve's probably fine.
I think Juvie's fine.
I don't think he's fine.
I don't think Diddy wanted anything to do with him or maybe Julie
Diddy
doesn't want anything to do with
didn't
Diddy.
want shit to do with Cash Money.
No,
That wasn't even remotely close to a collab ever.
no.
All right.
Tupac's
I wonder-
fine.
wonder what's
Eminem's
going-
fine. Dr.
you
Dre
hear
is
about-
fine. I think.
Did you guys hear about Eminem's daughter?
Haley,
What?
what happened?
So I got sent this and I couldn't find it anywhere, but there was a TikTok that was sent to me of her talking about Kanye West slipping her something in her drink at a Diddy party.
Oh God.
Yeah, like recent
Oh yeah,
video.
yeah.
Was it her chick?
I found it 2 days ago. It's on YouTube right now. Eminem's
Yeah.
daughter reacts to sleeping with Diddy and Kanye.
Yeah, it was
No
her
wonder
and her
Eminem-
manager that got slipped something.
No wonder Eminem wants to like murder Diddy
Yeah.
and has been calling him out for years.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Also, Diddy tried to kill Kid Cudi. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, he tried to blow up his car.
He did blow up his car.
That's right. Yeah, he tried to blow up his car with him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am a massive Kid Cudi fan.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me. He's seems so good.
Yeah.
He seems like such a good person.
Cudi-
Yeah, and
just
also
like raps
we saw
Bad Boy.
Chip the Rip.
We did see Chip the Rip.
Yeah, in concert in Portland, and he was like, yeah, and he was like a, you know,
Did he say did he call Diddy out that night? That was like 12 years ago.
no, I mean maybe, but I'm just saying that I like Chip the Rip.
Chip
It's a feel good,
Chip and Cudi are both
And-
from
Yeah.
Cleveland.
and they were bros. Yeah, they
Yeah.
came up
Yeah.
a little bit together, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
worked off each other.
Oh, man. I forgot about that. That's crazy. When people talked about like, oh, Diddy had something to do with Tupac's killing, like I think it's pretty clear now that he didn't. I was like, dude, that's just some
Well.
yeah, okay. I'm not as close to that as what others
Supposedly
might
he
be.
did put the hit on him. He put the hit out, but it wasn't like he
Oh,
directed
well,
it to somebody.
and the
He
fir-
told
the
a lot
first-
of people to do it.
The first
And
time
then
Pac got
one did.
shot, he in New York, he blamed
He
Diddy
Yeah,
and Biggie, and that was like the foundation of their beef.
Yeah,
which I always thought as like Diddy's just some
Really,
Puff Daddy
I'm,
at the
I'm
time
glad
was
we're
just
ending the
some-
episode on a high note.
Yeah.
was just some ridiculous guy that dances all up there dancing in
Dude, I was
then in the
his
videos.
artist
You guys, I
videos.
seriously had this thought, this completely unrelated to all this, but I was like, there's a version of like memes or videos or whatever where we take Suge Knight and it's like, if y'all don't want to be with this producer who's all up in the videos, all up in the booth, trying to steal the spotlight, come to the Pac-12. 8 years ago,
we should make Pac-12 Death Row record shirts.
I did not have it on my bingo card that I would be more disgusted
Done.
by Diddy than I was by Suge Knight. But now I'm at a point where Suge Knight significantly higher on my "are they actually a good person" list. He's still not
Yeah.
high, but Diddy is so much lower. Yeah, come to Death Row, come to the Pac-12. JP, I know you have the busiest week of your life, but if you could make that happen immediately, please do so. Thanks. Please play 5 seconds of Suge Knight's speech. I'm just kidding.
No,
Oh.
no, but anyone see? It was a week ago. It was the Andre tweet, not mine. Andre tweet. It was grab your Glocks when you see Pac-2. Call the cops
Yes.
when you see Pac-2. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
A little
that was
hit 'em up
great.
video action.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody
Oh.
added the Mountain West in that tweet, and it was not me.
They could take that in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I know.
Belligerent
Yeah.
Beavs podcast does not condone violence in any way, shape, or form. this,
Yeah.
never.
This-
No.
we are the Belligerent Beavs, and we approve this message.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to get out of here? On this?
Yeah, women's soccer won 2-1.
Fuck yeah!
Oh,
as
nice.
we're recording.
Yeah. I think they're 2-0 in WCC play.
Nice.
3 match win streak. Also worth noting, I feel like I'm the dude on Around the Horn who's just like telling you, or was it on Pardon the Eruption, telling you mistakes or
Oh,
news at the end?
Stat boy. That was how Tony Reale
Yeah.
got his
Yeah.
start before he was the host of Around the Horn.
Yeah. I'm Tony Reale. Yeah. Anyways, so if you haven't seen the Sac State
Renderings.
football renderings, Take a
Crazy.
look.
Do they have that many fans?
They're about to.
I mean, they're
Light
in
the
a
beam.
pretty
Light the
decent market.
beam, baby. Light the
Also,
beam.
you see that?
Dude,
The
it's
Kings owner offered to allow them to play conference games at their arena
brand new
when
arena?
Dude.
available. It's not that brand
Hey,
new.
if
but
a
it's 5 years
shitty
old.
billionaire starts investing in Sacramento State, they can come to the Pac-12. That's
Their
literally
stadium does look.
it's a yes or
They
no
somehow,
thing.
secured
ridiculous, though.
35 million plus in NIL donations in a week.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
They're clearly trying to be the SMU of the new age, and I'm here for it. If you can prove you have one shady billionaire interested in your athletic success, Sac State, you're in.
Come
You
on,
have to prove
35
it.
mil for
Just
Ken
put-
Simonton.
Yeah, put it on the table. I don't need to see whose money it actually was.
Yeah.
They want to stay anonymous? That's fine.
It just needs to be
Or
on
if
the
they want to
table.
tell us, that's cool.
Fund your
Unmarked
way.
bills.
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll give you
Sac's
flowers.
cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still mad about them beating us in 2011, but whatever.
Sure. Absolutely.
They got their.
But now we
Yeah,
can
the
get
trademark
potentially more opportunities to
That was a conference.
sting
loss.
them back. To sting them back.
That is a cool mascot, though. A hornet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they need to change
Sting
their
them versus chop
logo
them.
to be
Yeah.
Sting them versus chop. Oh,
Another state school.
another
Our
state
new rival.
school.
But they would be in the city-state.
The city-state
Division.
not in the state-state division. While Gonzaga State's the only team in the Gonzaga State division.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Makes sense.
made up states division.
This is going well. Thank you for
All
tuning
right.
in. to
Hey,
episode
before we go,
160.
give me one more name of people on the Diddy list that you guys think.
I'm
I'm into this.
I don't want to do this.
Come on, Terry.
No, I'm not going to speculate who's on the Diddy list. I'm not going to.
Come on, speculate.
No, it's
Come
not a
on.
fun.
No one's gonna
speculation.
Come
no
on!
one's gonna hold your feet to the fire.
No, it's not a.
You're not being
I
mean.
am.
It's not a fun thing to speculate about. Like
It's an
who
interesting
is
thing.
actually a horrible person in every way?
It's
Puddle.
pop culture.
Puddles.
Dan.
I'm gonna guess who's on
Lanning.
the Diddy list.
Puddles and Dan Lanning. They go together.
We just speculated for like 10 minutes.
Oh,
And we
I
gave you
didn't.
2 names.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give a name for who may or may not.
That makes it sound like
Jonathan
you
Smith.
know. That
No,
makes
it
it sound like
doesn't.
you know who's
I'm
on the
not
list.
gonna
Were
guess.
you at the Diddy parties?
I was not. I was.
Are you
not.
John
My name's
Smith?
Terry Horseman.
My name's Tori Holtzman, and I was too busy running really fucking fast in the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis when the Diddy parties were happening.
Okay,
all
that's good.
I'll say is quantifiably, Tori Holt was not at the Diddy parties.
All right. That's a no answer, but I'll take it.
That's a no answer. So everyone besides
The
Tori
duck
Holt
was.
may have been there.
The duck was. Yeah. Say Jonathan Smith and Dan Lanning were both there
And the duck.
together. Yeah.
Sad.
Just a sad state of affairs. Sounds like a boring party to me.
It does.
If Jonathan Smith was there, it was a real boring party.
Yeah. And awkward.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was awkward.
He probably just
Anyways.
stands in the corner with his face towards the corner.
All smushed. This is his face all
Just as
smushed
far
and
as his
whatever.
huge nose will hit.
But he keeps being pushed further and further out of the corner because as his nose is growing for all of the bullshit lies he's telling, it just keeps getting longer and longer, and he can't even fit in
Yeah.
the corner anymore.
Wait,
That's a Pinocchio
wait.
reference.
Friday. Could be tomorrow, could be today, depends when this
Tomorrow,
drops.
it could be
But
today. Oh, it
Oregon?
posted this.
Oregon or Michigan?
Michigan State, you mean?
Yeah. Oregon or Michigan State.
JP, I know what you're gonna say, JP. There are 3 answers here. JP, you say who has to go first between me or Benny?
You. Tori Holtzman.
Oregon to win. It feels gross to say, but it's true.
Benny.
Yeah. I think I agree.
Really?
Does
Oh
this-
my God, you would never get here.
Oregon does us dirty, but it's sort like it's in a competitive way. Jonathan Smith did us dirty in the dirtiest way ever.
Jonathan's
Like,
getting a win
it
on
was-
that field after he no-showed in the last conference meeting between the two teams would infuriate me. I would get
Yeah.
It's the only way Oregon could lose in a way I wouldn't get any joy. And I think the third answer is I don't give a fuck, which I think is your answer, JP. But maybe you do have a team preference in this.
I'm going for Oregon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that
So,
I'm gonna
Jonathan
root.
Smith, if you're listening,
feel
we
like-
fucking hate you.
I
Yeah,
feel like
by the
we-
way, Jonathan, we know you do listen. We know you listen.
I feel like we just
We've tracked you
I
down.
feel like we just looked in the mirror and said Beetlejuice 3 times. God damn it.
I know.
It feels so gross.
It feels
so
really gross. But I also have to acknowledge that
And with Duck fans
Or-
listening to
or-
our show and giving us compliments now too.
Oregon's success or lack thereof meant a lot more when we were in the same conference.
This episode of the Blue
Yeah.
JP's podcast is brought to you by the University of Oregon. Minds move mountains in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, it's also brought to you by sweatshops in the Philippines by Nike.
And mouses under cars that we're trying to skewer.
Prefontaine, who was a guy that we're still proud of for some reason. Have you seen the movie
He was very
Air?
wholesome until he didn't make it long. Anyways, it's true.
I didn't see this ending coming in like a lot of ways. This has been the 160th
Come to death row.
episode
Come to death row.
of the Blue
Come to
JP
Pac-12.
podcast. I think the 3 of us might be on death row after this episode goes live, but that's okay.
Been
We had
there,
a big
man.
run. Yeah, I've been there. We made it back.
Yeah. I
From
live
all
on
of us, Belligerent Beavs podcast, thank you for tuning in. All right, wait, I didn't even ask you guys this. Are either of you going to the game at Reeser this weekend? Heavy side.
No, I found,
That's a no from
Yeah.
Benny and a heavy side from JP.
I finally gave up my hope to do it. It would be too much. I can't bail on the soccer game that I'm coaching on at 11 o'clock. By the time we get done, 12 o'clock. By the time we get done, it would be like too much to try to get to, and then I'd not enjoy the game trying to rush to it. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch it at home. 3:30 p.m. Pacific time on the CW. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Belligerent Beavs podcast. We are not sponsored by Oregon. I was just kidding about that. And no matter what happens in that game on Friday night, I don't think we'll take any joy. That it's just, it's just all gross. Everything's gross. Everything sucks, except for our lives and our conference,
Which are awesome.
That now includes Gonzaga. Of course, it's a great time to remind you that Oregon State men's basketball has played in Elite Eight more recently than Arizona has. This has been the 160th episode of the Belligerent Beavs podcast,
presented by the Payton Years podcast.
presented by
Hey,
the
shut
Podcast.
up, Peyton Years.
I've been Terry Horstman at Terry Horstman on Twitter and at Terrence Horstman on Instagram.com. I'm joined, as I always
And
have
at
been,
Tori
by
Holtzman
by
on
Tori
footballref.com.
Colt, by Kurt Warner, by Isaac Bruce, by Dick
247.
Vermeil, who is still here, who's still drawing up plays. My 2 best friends from college, including the one who removed bulbs in my room to fuck with me and then couldn't see anything and to figure out what to do, but played Ashcon hot tubbing on the late night. We are on a hiatus from 5-second requests for the temporary future. They will come back, but go play that song.
Don't take us
right
down
now.
again, YouTube.
JP Bertram, who's also on the 1s and 2s, our ship steered in
Now
the
kind of
right
1s and
direction.
1s.
You can find him on Twitter at the Trial J. That's at the _Trial_J, because he's too trial to be real. And at JP Bertram on Instagram.com. Of course, from up in Tacoma, Benjamin Lawrence.
Meow!
Sebastian Wehage, aka Benny with the Good Quaff, aka Benny Bowl Game, aka Benny Burner, aka Benny Blastoff, aka Benny Bedlam, because he's fucking crazy, folks. Benjamin Lawrence, Sebastian Wehage, at Benny L, 1986. Oh, social media channels. 69. Yeah, that was a hell of a
Hell
year.
of a year.
Most futuristic year of all time.
And follow us, for gosh darn sakes, at Bellig Beavs on Twitter, at Belligerent Beavs everywhere else. That's Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Face Smash, LinkedIn, Friendster, LimeWire.
We are on LinkedIn.
Dash, if you just go, hit at Belligerent Beavs at DoorDash.gov.
We may deliver you a beer.
We we may deliver you a beer. You'll find all of our most recent DoorDash orders too, which will tell you a little bit too much about us. But hey,
Taco Bell.
The internet is
Taco Bell. I had Taco Bell for lunch today.
Popeyes, Taco Bell
For real. I had the Lux box.
And then like one acai bowl the day like we randomly felt inspired to be like, I'm gonna turn it around right now.
And then Taco
Cafe
Bell for
Yum.
dinner.
Follow us, follow the show. Please rate and review, like and subscribe. Share the show with a friend. 5-star reviews really help us grow the show a lot. We really appreciate it. And word of mouth works great too. Text a Duck fan in your life and let him know who we're cheering for on Friday. God damn it! To listen. I don't care who tunes in. But no matter how conflicted you are on Friday, or how exultant you feel on Saturday, or who joins this conference or who doesn't, or what happens, remember that Oregon State men's basketball has played in Elite Eight more recently than Arizona has, and you can't spell chop 'em without home. Chop 'em.
Chop 'em. I forgot the order.
Chop 'em.
Gonzaga!
Gonzaga?